Yo guys, it's Kyle coming at you from Bane's Film Reviews. I just saw Blink Twice, the directorial debut of Zoe Kravitz, starring Naomi Ackie and Channing Tatum. I really didn't have any idea what to expect when it came to this film. I expected something twisted. Someone mentioned to me that they believe that this sort of would exist in the same vein as The Most Dangerous Game. I didn't know how I felt about that. This is the most blind I think I've gone into a film all summer. But I'm thoroughly impressed with the product that Kravitz produced and these actors produced. I want to start with Tatum, because we all know by now that Tatum was a surprise cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine just last month. People have been talking about him and his performance in that film. I think that Tatum might be the actor of the summer, because he just blows this role as Slater King out of the freaking water in Blink Twice. This may be his best performance ever, and I've got to give it to him. I think that he is the actor of the summer. I don't know if I really think of him as like an A-list actor. He's an A-list celebrity. But I've never thought of him as like the top-notch actor, you know, like you would with like a Leo DiCaprio or a Tom Hanks or actors of that caliber. In this film, however, he is that level of actor. He is that powerful in his performance, and I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed every single second of his time on screen. Naomi Ackie is new, a name I'm completely unfamiliar with. If I've seen her anything before, she either didn't make an impression or my memory's bad. More than likely, it's the latter rather than the former. But regardless, I didn't recognize the name going in. I honestly didn't even know her name until the credits rolled at the end of the film. She holds her own. She's wonderful. She is the film's lead, and she sort of is tasked with delivering most of, if not all of, the emotion throughout the course of this film. And this is a really dark, twisted, demented film where we have there's rape and exploitation and extreme violence, and it's just so dark and twisted that it really takes a special type of actor to be able to pull this off. And in addition to that, like I had said, Tatum has been fantastic this summer, particularly in this role, and she holds her own and is as good. She's as good as Tatum is in this role. She's wonderful. So I thoroughly enjoyed the performances, and there's other actors like Haley Joel Osment and Gina Davis and Christian Slater, and they're all wonderful as well, but these two leads are just spectacular, and I can't say enough good things about them. I was about halfway into this film when I thought to myself, what the fuck is the point of this? And there's a trigger warning at the beginning of the film about exploitation and things like that, and so I anticipated that once that came across the screen. But I didn't really know what the point was. I felt like there wasn't much of a narrative to go off of. There wasn't much content. But about the halfway point, that switches, and all of a sudden everything makes sense. I mean, there's a lot of repetition. Some of the same lines are repeated over and over again. You see some of the same visuals over and over again. You see a lot of the same colors, a lot of the same sounds. And that repetition eventually gets you into the meat and potatoes of this narrative about halfway through. And again, everything makes sense once you get to that point. So hang in there. If you're a little bored for the first 45 minutes or so, hang in there. It's going to be worth it. The payoff is worth it. But my favorite part of this film, other than Tatum, is this use of repetition, but particularly in the score and the sound design. It's constant. And I don't know who blended the sound. I don't know who was in charge of this, who was in charge of sound editing. However, whoever it was, they managed to manipulate common sounds like smoking a vape, applause, and other variations of a similar noise, and create them and blend them together to make something almost indecipherable from one another. and everything blends together, and that plays into the narrative of this film so well, and it continues to develop that narrative and the characters and just the film as a whole. I love the sound design and the score more than anything else in this film. It's hard to say a lot of negative about this, except for there is a lot of empty space, or it feels like a lot of empty space in the opening act and a half, maybe even the first 2 acts. But this film works, and it's one of the best films of the summer. I'm really, really impressed. This might be the last film that I see before I get back into the classroom for the 24-25 school year. And if this is the last thing that I see in theaters before I get back to work, I am not going to be mad about that. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's one of my favorites of the summer. Tatum's performance is my favorite of the summer. He's my favorite actor of the summer. The sound design is one of the most enticing things that I've heard in a long, long time. And I give Blink Twice, which I didn't know what to think going in. I had no negative thoughts, no positive thoughts, just figured I'd check it out because I like Zoe Kravitz and Channing Tatum. And I'm going to give this film an 8.5 out of 10. I adore this film, and I think that you guys should go out of your way to watch it. Get to the theater, watch it if you can. It should be out for a few more weeks. It just came out last week, so it should spend some more time in the theater. And for Kravitz's directorial debut, this is a hit, in my opinion. And this is going to be one of those films that I think I find on Blu-ray and add to my collection, which is not something I do as often because I'm running out of room. So that's a testament to how good this film is. And her directing is wonderful. I anticipate that she will have a fantastic career in directing, the same as she has in acting. Again, I give Blink Twice an 8.5 out of 10. Go watch it. Or if you don't have the time right now, wait till it comes out on streaming services. But I encourage you to spend your money on this film and check it out. Until next time, peace.